Article 8. Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $450,000 gross budget for the purchase of a new fire engine to replace a 1987 Ranger fire engine, and to authorize the issuance of not more than $450,000 of bonds or notes in accordance with the provisions of the Municipal Finance Act, RSA 33, and to authorize the Board of Selectmen to issue and negotiate such bonds or notes, and to determine the rate of interest thereon. This requires a 3/5 vote. It is not recommended by the Selectmen by a vote of 3 to 0, not recommended by the Budget Committee by a tie vote of 6 to 6. Who is prepared to make this motion?
My name is William Akerley. I'm here to move this Article 8 for placement on the official ballot as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Akerley. And second?
Second that.
Thank you, Mr. Carrier. Chief Carrier. Mr. Akerley, are you prepared to discuss this article?
I am. My name is Bill Akerley. I'm the chairman of the Board of Fire Engineers. It's a board of 3 that oversees the fire department for the good of the town. We're seeking to replace a 1987 Ranger fire truck, which is a pumper-style truck, with the purchase of a 2012 E1 truck. We have a truck committee that was formed over a year ago to spec out this truck for what the department and the town's needs are. This committee worked very diligently to spec the truck, as well as meet with multiple vendors over the year with multiple presentations, and the bid that had been selected was an E1 truck. Just a couple of things I'd like to mention is over the last 44 years, the average service life of a fire truck in the town of Guilford has been 23.5 years. This truck is 25 years old. This was endorsed by the CIP committee, the Capital Improvement Committee, and initially endorsed by the selectmen. However, as the moderator has said, that no longer is the case. The department has been anticipating this purchase just until recently. We've been under the impression that this truck was on schedule to be replaced. It is something that in 2008, former Chief Hayes had built a 30-year replacement schedule of vehicles, and we're trying to stay within that endorsement. The department itself has made great sacrifices in anticipation of purchasing this truck. The Guilford Fire Department reduced the budget this year 3.8%, which is more than any other town department budget has been reduced. We've made staffing changes. We eliminated a part-time position. We changed a full-time position to a part-time position, again, in anticipation of reducing our budget as best we can. I can tell you other sacrifices that have been made. The professional firefighters, unsolicited, reduced their callback time from 2 hours to a 1 hour minimum. We have returned this year over $70,000 out of this year's budget. Those are that's what we have done in anticipation of purchasing this truck, and we endorse it.
Thank you, Mr. Akerley. Are there other comments, questions? I'm prepared to assist you, Mr. Millam, if you need.
Thank you very much. Well, that's what I'm coming for. Madam Moderator, I would like to make a parliamentary inquiry. What would happen if we voted no on any of these votes that we're taking?
Yeah, see, I don't think you're supposed to do that.
What would happen, Mr. Millam, if we voted no?
I believe the law says we can't vote no. We have to put this on the ballot. In any event, we can't dispose of any of these articles at this meeting. So
You're just amending.
Just discuss it.
if you amend it, that's, you can do. But
We can vote on it.
if we say, hey, I don't like that, let's vote no, and we vote no, it's still going to go on the ballot. Am I right, Walter? I'm sorry to consult counsel without your permission.
You are right that absent an amendment, the article printed on the warrant automatically goes on the ballot without further action. But different moderators in different towns have different approaches. Some don't take a vote and just declare that the article, since we haven't amended it, it goes on the warrant. And others follow or mirror the model from the traditional town meeting and take a vote. But that's up to the moderator's choice as to how to proceed. Either are valid, either is valid.
Mr. Horvath, are you commenting on Mr. Millam's point?
I would like to make a motion to amend.
All right, could you wait 1 minute? Just hold that. Mr. Millam, I'm going to rule that we're going to proceed, as we have been, with making the motions to place them on the ballot. And given our ages, that would be your age and my age, and our familiarity with a traditional town meeting and more traditional viewpoints of deliberative sessions, I would like to continue in that manner. If you feel that that is not appropriate, if you continue to feel that is not appropriate, I will bow to your wishes. I'm making him get out of his chair twice.
Can I say it from here?
Yes, you may.
I just want the people to know that regardless of how we vote, it's going to go on left.
Okay. Have you all heard Mr. Millam? Yes. And we thank you for bringing that to our attention, Mr. Millam.
I'm sure you did.
All right. I think, Mr. Horvath, it's your
I
turn.
have to get up again?
I'm here.
I need help. This particular article received, Dave Horvath, by the way, this particular article received a lot of discussion in the Budget Committee and went into another direction in terms of whether the vehicle should be repaired or not. I'm not the expert to speak to those particular issues of the mechanical issues, what can't be done, and what service life would be done. But I struggled with this article from different perspective that I wanted to see it presented differently. And I'm only looking to amend the language to give the voters perhaps a better perspective of what is being asked here. And I'll read what I want to change if you like. I have it in writing to give to you. And I'm not quite sure what you want me to do from this point. Should I read it, what I would like it to say?
You're welcome to read it, and then we do need the written one.
Okay. Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $450,000 gross budget for the purchase of a new fire engine to replace, and then I want to strike out the 1987 Ranger fire engine and say replace the 2003 fire engine as the first due attack pumper. I think that clarifies it a little more. Yes, this other engine's a little older, but there's a good engine that's available currently within the department. So at the first due pumper, the 2003 will then be rotated into a reserve status. And to authorize, the wording stays the same all the way down toward the end. And I wanted to add the statement on what it's going to cost the people so everybody understands what the total cost would be. To add the words, the total of all payments, including interest, is estimated at $510,000. So you can see the difference between the purchase price and the true cost to the town. And I make a motion to accept this amendment. And excuse my typo, it said 45,000, it should say 450,000.
All right.
Thank you.
And is there a second to the motion from Mr. Horvath?
Second, Chan Eddy, 201 Chestnut Drive.
Thank you, Mr. Eddy. So let's read this amendment again from Mr. Horvath. This is the amendment to Article 8, and it reads this way. Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $450,000 for the purchase of a new fire engine to replace a 2003 KME fire engine as a first due attack pumper, parentheses, the 2003 KME will then be rotated into reserve status, parentheses, and to authorize the issuance of not more than $450,000 of bonds or notes in accordance with the provisions of the Municipal Finance Act, RSA 33, and to authorize the Board of Selectmen to issue and negotiate such bonds or notes and to determine the rate of interest thereon. The total of all payments, including interest, is estimated at $510,000. 3/5 vote required, not recommended by the Selectmen by a vote of 3-0, not recommended by the Budget Committee by a tie vote of 6-6. This amendment has been made and seconded by Mr. Eddy. Is there any discussion? Go ahead.
Thank you. I believe that this amendment speaks to exactly what our differences were with the Budget Committee. We have said over and over that this new fire engine will replace the 1987 Ranger, and that is why the warrant article was written the way that it was. What it allows us to do is take the 2003 KME and rotate it back in our fleet of vehicles to become the backup first due piece of apparatus. We've made this argument over and over and tried to convince those people outside of the fire department that this is a very important piece of equipment to our fleet, to no avail. For example, over the past 2 weeks, Engine 4, which is being replaced, hopefully, has run first due to a number of incidents. It was first due to a medical incident at the elderly housing complex on Potter Hill Road. It was first due to a carbon monoxide incident on Wesley Way. And it was also first due yesterday to a fire alarm activation on Lakeshore Road when we had 3 calls at the same time. So this truck is pressed into service, and you'll probably hear the number of incidents that it responds to. The number of emergency incidents that Engine 4 responded to in 2011 was approximately 60 incidents. But that does not, by any means, paint the picture of what of the value of that engine to our department. It's important to have that piece not only when Engine 2 is on another call, but when Engine 2 is out of town serving as a mutual aid piece. We have to have a reliable piece of equipment, a piece of apparatus in our station to cover our own community's basic needs. That is why we're asking for the replacement of the 1987 Ranger.
Mr. Murphy.
Madam Moderator, may I have the leeway to ask the Chief a question?
Yes, you may.
Chief Carrier, the amendment that was just read, could you tell us whether it is materially correct or incorrect? Or do you just disagree because it presents the amendment in a different manner than what you really prefer?
If I were to say it is materially correct or incorrect, I would say that it is incorrect because we are removing Engine 4 from our fleet of vehicles and we're replacing Engine 4 with a new vehicle.
Thank you.
How you doing? Kevin Leandro. I gotta disagree with the chief.
Engine 3, or Engine 2, I believe, the KME, the 2003 KME, is currently the front tube attack pumper. And that's the role that the new fire engine will take. The 2003 KME will be rotated back to the backup or reserve status. That will be replacing the 87, and it's really not an 87, it's an 88 according to the VIN number, but that's neither here nor there. Which means it's not 26 years old. It's not 25 years old. So in essence, yes, what we are replacing is the frontline attack pumper. That pumper will then replace the reserve pumper, and that's the vehicle that will be disposed of. And we can go back and forth about the reliability and problems with the Ranger fire engine, the older of the two, Engine 4. I know that the selectmen and the board of the budget committee is pretty tired of hearing it from me, but it's been going over exhaustingly. We've presented, we've inspected the vehicle, it's been inspected by outside agencies, and really, although outside of some routine maintenance issues, it has no problems. It's a good, solid truck. Myself and Mr. Labani, combined, we have over 70 years experience in heavy trucks, buying, selling, operating, owning, everything. And we feel that it's a solid truck. It's got some maintenance concerns, but there's nothing drastically wrong with it that we can't get a few more years out of it. And I think the opposition to this, we're not saying let's run this truck indefinitely. We're not saying let's refurb the truck. Nobody's suggested that. All we're suggesting is, in light of the current economic times, you know, taxes went up this year, 93 cents per thousand. More than likely, they're going to go up again next year. Valuations are going to continue to drop, so the rates have to continue to go up. Let's see if we can squeeze a few more years out of this truck and then revisit it then. The chief and Mr. Akeley is absolutely right. It's not worth putting 100 grand into the truck to refurb it. So let's just see if we can get 3 or 4 years out of the truck and then buy a new one. For the duty it has, a 24, 25-year-old truck, it's served the town well. And the other point is, this 2003 KME has only been the frontline pumper for, if I do my math right, 9 years. The Ranger engine, the Engine 4, had served the town as frontline pumper for 15 years. It's a little bit early to be rotating this truck back in the status. So let's see if we can get a few more years out of both engines, then replace it and put the 2003 in reserve. Thank you.
Yes.
Mark Corey, Intervale Road. I think the amendment to the article is misleading because it makes it read like we're replacing a 2003 truck, when in reality we're replacing a 1987 truck. The 2003 truck is not being taken out of service, it's just being rotated to standby, and the 1987 Ranger is actually being taken out of service.
Thank you.
Chair Eddie, I'm not sure where this question should be addressed. I'm sure hopefully someone can. Now, assuming that the 1987 truck is replaced and the truck is disposed of, I'm assuming it's going to be sold. Will some of those funds be able to offset the cost of the new vehicle, or do those funds go back to the general funds for the town? I'm kind of curious about that.
Mr. Akerley?
The funds would go back to the general fund. And as far as the price of putting it towards the purchase of a new vehicle, my experience in the years that I've been there with the vehicles that we have that have reached the end of its life, they have very little value. You'd be very surprised. The last truck that we decommissioned ended up it doesn't go on to work at another fire department. That's usually not the case. The last one ended up in Conway. You still see it once in a while. It's a water truck for a paving company. And I believe the price, any of you know what? I think the town might have got $3 grand for it or something. Short money.
Drug tape.